Travel isn't just about destinations. It's about the people you meet, the cultures you immerse yourself in, the stories you carry home. I'm Relebogile Mabocha, and on my travel feature, I take you on a journey beyond the guidebook. Each week, I connect with fellow travelers, insiders, and storytellers to bring you the heart of every place. Whether it's a hidden gem right here in South Africa or a dream destination abroad. Join me as we travel through conversations, memories, and inspiration. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
In our travel and tourism segment today, we want to talk about sailing holidays and the option to explore destinations by water. I know I have mentioned before that some of my favorite family holidays have been spent on the water. Barging on a canal in France, sailing in Madagascar, more recently sailing in Turkey. And I feel incredibly privileged to have had the experience of enjoying that perspective on the world. And I need to mention that the sum total of my boating and sailing experience is those few hours I spent learning to sail in an Optimist for a charity race. In other words, I have no sailing experience whatsoever. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this interview today, because I think there is a big misperception about what sort of a sailor you need to be in order to enjoy that kind of holiday. Because the answer is you don't have to be any kind of sailor at all. If you are a very experienced sailor, there's a different way to enjoy them. And the person who's going to explain that all to us is with me in studio today, Nicci Welgemoed, who is the local business development manager for Africa for the company called Sunsail, who have over 50 years in this business of creating beautiful sailing holidays all over the world. Nicci, it's great to have you with us. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Nice to be here.
50 years in the business, and I believe the fleet is now something like 300 boats. Is that correct?
Quite a lot of boats indeed, yes. Yeah. That's correct.
And boats of all shapes and sizes and scales and technical sort of scope. Tell us a little bit more about the company.
Sure. So like you mentioned, we have been around for quite some time, so definitely quite reputable. Mm-hmm. We've got quite a lot of bases worldwide, so whatever holiday you are looking at, we definitely got that. Starting from the Seychelles, which is nice and close to us, expanding to Thailand, Tahiti, the Med, the Caribbean, we've got a few bases. We're quite large. Our fleet consists of monohulls and catamarans, so whatever you are looking for, it is available. And the sizes also start from about 30 foot ranging up to 50 foot. Sure. So yes, it's a big fleet that we have, a lot of destinations that we have. So anything that you are looking for is pretty much what we have available for you.
Who's your typical customer? I mean, when we've done it, it's been a family holiday where the whole family was together on the water and you are supping and kayaking and swimming and snorkeling on the side of the boat in between sailing hours. But that's not the only way to do it. Do you find that couples do this for a honeymoon, for example? Yes.
So we've definitely seen quite an influx in that. I think since COVID, people have been looking at new ways of traveling, different ways of traveling. So a lot of people who go to Maldives or Mauritius for honeymoon are looking at still traveling in the Indian Ocean Islands, but for something a little bit different. So honeymoon in the Seychelles is definitely a big one. And then the adventure traveler, someone who enjoys skiing, who is looking for a new kind of adventure holiday. This is definitely a great option for them because it's adventurous, it's fun, but like you said, families as well, snorkeling on the side of the boat, having your cocktail at sunrise,
takes
sunset.
A lot of sunset if you don't mind.
Sunset. There's a lot of different ways that you can enjoy this holiday, but it's definitely more of an adventurous holiday, I would say. I'm sure you would agree with that. Yeah.
So, and more adventurous for some than for others, because you have the choice of doing it completely relaxed and saying, I want to hire a boat plus a skipper and they will do the sailing. We will simply sit back and enjoy the scenery as it goes by. Yes. But of course, you're going to have some families who would rather do the sailing themselves. How do you manage that? Talk to us about the options.
So with sailing, unlike a river cruise, you do require the correct license, so the correct skipper's ticket. So we obviously, once you do come through to us and you say you want to do one of these holidays, we will obviously ask, are you a qualified skipper? If you do have the correct licensing, you won't require a skipper. If you are not qualified, then obviously we will say that insist that you take a skipper with you. All of our skippers are local. They are very well trained. They know exactly what they're doing. They know the areas really well. So it's actually quite a nice option to have one on board because they know, know where they're going, they know what to do. So if there's something specific you want to see, they are the right people to ask as well. What I would say though is if you are looking for a super, super relaxed holiday on a boat, we've also got the option of a fully crewed all-inclusive where you sit back, relax, and you are served pretty much. So yes, you can go from doing it all yourself, DIY, to sitting back and doing absolutely nothing.
And having somebody else cook and provision the boat and all of that for you. Okay,
Yes.
so obviously the cost of those different options is going to vary greatly depending on where you are and what you're opting for. Look, I mean, this is not an inexpensive holiday, but there are ways to do it on a bit of a budget and to do some of it yourself. Are there particular destinations that tend to be a little bit more cost effective than others?
Yes, so I would definitely say if you are on a bit of a budget, you are looking at traveling, let's say in the Mediterranean, then going on a monohull holiday is definitely the most cost-effective way. In something like the Seychelles, I would then say look at the time of year that you're going, because we don't actually have any monohulls there.
Okay.
And then Thailand, not surprisingly, a lot of people enjoy going to Thailand, and it is quite a cost-effective destination to get to and to travel in. So there are a few different ways that you can look at making your holiday as cost effective as possible.
Okay. Just for anybody who came in midway to the conversation, my guest with us in studio, Nicci Welgemoed, is a business development manager for Sunsail, who have more than 5 decades in the business of creating magical sailing holidays. We're talking about some of the options out there and pros and cons of traveling this way. Pros are amazing. You can sort of self-direct your holiday to a large extent. You decide, we're going to moor in this little bay tonight, it's so beautiful, or there's a little taverna there we want to go and visit tonight, so we're going to stay longer here. You're not sort of on anybody else's timeline other than your start and finish date. The cons obviously are if you hit bad weather and you haven't got strong sea legs, Nicci, can be a challenge, not so?
Yes, and I can definitely speak out of experience.
Okay.
It can get a little bit uncomfortable, but I would always say make sure you choose the right time to travel to the different destinations you are going to make it as comfortable as possible. And if you do hit bad weather, it's not the end of your holiday. Just anchor or moor in a little harbour and spend 1 or 2 days there while the weather does pass. So there are ways to work around that.
Now, speaking of mooring in little harbours, that's an important thing to mention, because the beauty of a holiday like this is largely upfront what your costs are going to be. You've paid upfront for the whole experience, so there aren't a lot of hidden surprises. But you do need to know about some of the costs. They're not hidden costs, but if you've not sailed before, you might not know about mooring and marina fees. Tell us a little bit more about what you need to think about.
So again, very dependent on the different destination that you are traveling to. Seychelles and Thailand, most of the Caribbean, you are anchoring most of the time, so you are not going into a little marina, so your anchorage costs are going to be minimal. If you're traveling in the Med, you are obviously wanting to be in a little marina every night because you want to hop off, you want to go eat out in town and enjoy, spending a little bit of time on land. So there you will need to kind of justify your mooring fees, but that is something that we always do tell you about before the time so that you are aware of what the costs could be.
Okay. So keep in mind, and again, there's flexibility in things like, as you've said, do you opt for a catered cruise or a self-catering cruise? Do you opt for a self-skippered or skippered? Do you want to have Wi-Fi on the boat, or do you want to not have Wi-Fi on the boat so you can have a total breakaway? There are things like that can make a difference to the cost package that you opt for. One of our listeners asking a very good question. How on earth do you manage maintenance of a fleet of that size, Nicci?
Very good question. So we have bases all over the world where we have technicians, we have maintenance staff, we have cleaning crew, we have absolutely everyone you need to be able to maintain those yachts at each of our destinations. So in the BVI, where we've got a fleet of about between 200 and 300 boats, we've got enough crew to look after the fleet. In the Seychelles, we've only got 17 boats, so we've got a lot less people, but we do have the right amount of people to look after those boats for us.
Okay, so the boats will be in good nick when you pick them up. And
indeed.
I don't even want to begin to think what the insurance fees must be like on a fleet of that size. I mean, as you've said, if somebody is going to self-sail and do the sort of barefoot charter, I think bareboat charter, I think you call it, they've got to be able to prove that they have a skipper's license and have proven their competence.
Yes.
Things can go wrong, though, Nicci. I mean, what are some of the things you've seen go wrong? I don't want to be like the doomsday scenario here, but what are some of the mishaps that have happened along the way?
So I think I'm very lucky being in South Africa. So the South African SAS ticket is quite a good ticket to have, or sailing ticket to have.
Okay.
So the South Africans usually know what they're doing. And obviously being from the Cape of Storms, we also understand weather and rough seas. So from the South African office side, we haven't really seen many disasters.
Okay.
I think my American colleagues would disagree a little bit with me. But yeah, so groundings is something that does happen
Okay.
quite a bit. You haven't really looked at your depth and you have hit ground. But when it comes to the insurance, you are pretty much covered. So we've got,
Okay.
it's exactly the same as renting a car. You have a damage waiver which you pay, which decreases your security deposit. That is a hold on your credit card. So
Okay.
same way as if renting a car, that is kind of the insurance that covers you for your holiday.
So if, like me, you forget that there is an umbrella on top as you go under a bridge and you lose the umbrella, it is covered. Learnt that one the hard way, and I know I'm not the first person to have made that mistake over the years. Okay, so we've spoken about the skippering. We've spoken about some of the popular destinations. Is there anything else you'd like to mention that you would like to flag for our listeners about the experience of this kind of holiday?
I mean, it's definitely the kind of experience that I would say anyone should enjoy or experience. It's something completely different. It is something that a lot of people wouldn't even think of or consider as a holiday. And you get to see so much more. You get to do island hopping without packing your bag, hopping from one hotel to the next, trying to find a transfer, trying to find a taxi. So it's such a nice way of actually experiencing a destination from a different point of view. And I definitely think it's worthwhile trying it at least once, just to see how it is being on board a boat and also experiencing things from a different angle, different point of view.
And I'm going to make the comment that if you are somebody who's prone to seasickness, you do get your sea legs quite quickly. And I say that because I'm one of them. And the last holiday we went and I got on board, and I sort of for the first hour or two I was like, what have I done? It's going to be a week of this is going to be awful. And by that evening I found my sea legs, and in fact at the other end of the trip when we got off the boat I was all wobbly on land for a few hours, and then you're back to normal. You do tend to adjust, and obviously there are seasickness meds you can take to get you through those first few hours until you found your sea legs. So don't let that be the thing that puts you off from what can be an absolutely amazing experience. Let's finish, Nicci, by just telling our listeners a little bit more about where to look at your website for more information. If they want to sort of go through the list of where your destinations are, take a look at the pictures of the boats, etc. Where do they find all that information?
Sure. So they can go onto www.sunsail.com/ZA. If they do type in sunsail.co.za, it's fine. It will reroute to .com/ZA. So that would be the best place to find a little bit more information, to see what the boats look like. There are some videos, there's some blogs. So it's a great place to actually start, just to kind of see what your thoughts are on it.
Nicci, I hope you're going to get some inquiries from CapeTalk listeners who are sitting here dreaming of the next holiday at sea. And if anybody listening has already had the experience of doing a holiday this way and wants to tell us where you went and what it was like for you, please do pop through a WhatsApp to 0725671567. Nicci Welgemoed, Business Development Manager for Sunsail. Thank you so much for joining us in studio today.
Thank you so
and
much.
Smooth sailing to you and the team.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Once again, that's www.sunsail.com/ZA.
Travel isn't just about destinations. It's about the people you meet, the cultures you immerse yourself in, the stories you carry home. I'm Nicci Welgemoed, and on my travel feature, I take you on a journey beyond the guidebook. Each week, I connect with fellow travelers, insiders, and storytellers to bring you the heart of every place. Whether it's a hidden gem right here in South Africa or a dream destination abroad. Join me as we travel through conversations, memories, and inspiration. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.